Today we're going to be talking about link velocity, namely how fast can you and should you build links to your website. Now, quite a while back, I conducted a poll in my Facebook group, the Affiliate SEO Mastermind, and just asked you guys, what are your biggest questions about link building? And this came up very, very high on the list. How fast can I build links to my site? How fast should I build links to my site? And it makes sense because people just don't know if they're building links too fast to a new site or too slow to an existing site. Am I being too cautious with this and just letting all my competitors pass me by? Am I going way too aggressive and I'm just going to completely ruin my site? So it makes sense that this question comes up a lot, and I hope to answer it completely on this webinar. Now, if this is your first webinar with me, I like to keep these very, very actionable. You will not expect to see any fluff here. I'm going to be talking about my entire process and experience on how I build links to both new sites and old sites, all sorts of sites through my agency LeadSpring. Now, make sure to stick around for the whole webinar. There's a lot that goes into this process depending on your site and your niche, and I'm going to be showing you various processes depending on what stage your site is in and what niche your site is and what your competitors are doing. I'm going to be showing you easy ways to do it. I'm going to show you more advanced ways to do it. So there's a lot to get through. And after we go through the process, we'll actually take a look at the actual link velocities I'm using on some sites in my portfolio. And as usual, if there are any questions, there always are, make sure to stick around for the Q&A section at the end, where I'm completely open to you guys. You guys got me for half an hour just to answer any question you have regarding link velocity or regarding whatever you want. The Q&A section at the end is usually the best part of this, just because you guys ask awesome questions and you guys are super smart. So let's go ahead and jump in. So the goals for today, my goals, what I want to accomplish with you guys, falls down to these three things. I want to show you how link velocity can influence the success of your website. And this is no BS. This can be a make or break situation for your website if you do it right or wrong. After that, I want to give you a framework for determining the ideal link velocity for your unique site and niche. And then lastly, I want to show you how to overcome your competition's link building campaigns, because what does all this matter if we figure out how fast we're building links if we're not doing it in such a way that we're going to overcome our competition and rank higher than them, of course. So how am I going to accomplish that? Let's take a look at the agenda. Well, first, for the newbies that are on the call and don't know what we're talking about, what the heck is link velocity, we're going to establish that real quick. So we're going to define what that is. And then we're going to be talking, and I'm going to be showing you examples how link velocity can be make or break for SEO. After that, I want to show you how to match your website stage, meaning how much authority it has, how much trust it has with Google with the ideal link velocity. And then how to beat your competition, the most important part. Like, how do we actually apply this to be able to pull ahead of the competitors? And then, as usual, as my gratitude for you guys for showing up to the webinar and being awesome people, we always give out something free. And this time we're going to be giving out something really, really cool. So make sure to stick around for that. After that, we'll get into 3 real link velocity examples from my own portfolio. And then, as promised, we'll open for that Q&A. Now, just make sure if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the chat box straight away. We have Daryl on the call right now, and Daryl's super smart. He manages the whole team of SEOs. He'll be able to answer any questions you have as we're going along. And if there's a question that's better suited for me, we'll save that for the end of the Q&A. And then also, yeah, just definitely stick around for the freebie in the middle of the webinar. This is something that gets filled up every single time. So make sure to jump on that if you're interested in it. Let's go ahead and get in. So if we haven't met before, my name is Matt, and I was born in a city called Fresno, California. It's also known as the city of no good. You can guess why I got out of there. At one point when I was actually living in Fresno, California, it was dubbed the per capita murder rate, the highest per capita murder rate in the United States. So it's a rough place to live, and I soon left to go to University of California, San Diego to study electrical engineering, where I mostly played World of Warcraft. Here's me in my starter gear, about to raid the Arathi Basin. No, I'm just kidding. This is out of the Ren's Fair, and I'm just realizing now that that's way more nerdy than playing World of Warcraft. So let's move on. Eventually, after I graduated, I started working for a company in the Silicon Valley as an electrical engineer. It was grueling work, 60-hour weeks. If anyone's an engineer on here, you know what I'm talking about. Really tough work. And eventually my eyes started wandering. I wanted to find new stuff to do. And I found affiliate SEO in about 2009 and just started playing around with making my own sites. Eventually had enough success to quit working for the man, sell my stuff, start traveling full time, and exploring this life as an SEO full time. Since then, it's looked like this. I founded diggitymarketing.com. You guys, I'm still an engineer. I still approach SEO exactly like an engineer would. I don't believe anything works until I've tested it in a live simulation environment, and then and only then will I apply it to my websites. And you'll see me on diggitymarketing.com often talking about these SEO tests that I'm performing all the time. LeadSpring is my affiliate SEO agency, which is completely dedicated to building, ranking, monetizing, and eventually flipping affiliate websites. I have a 7-figure client-facing agency called the Search Initiative, backlink service called Authority Builders, a course called the Affiliate Lab. I'm the host of the Chiang Mai SEO conference, and if you guys know Surfer SEO, I'm an investor. I'm on the cap table for Surfer. So why you're in good hands, I'll give you 2 reasons why you would want to listen to me when we're talking about link velocity. The first is, like I mentioned, I'm an engineer at heart. I like to do single variable tests to figure out if stuff works. Single variable tests look like this. You would have actual websites that are actually existing in Google, ranking for keywords. And what I would want to do, for example, is let's say I want to test what happens if I increase the link velocity in comparison to what I'm normally doing. So what you do is you have your typical variables. You have similar keyword densities on one set of sites, similar types of optimization, similar types of link velocity, and then you would apply a different variable to a new site or a new group of sites, and this would be your tested variable. This would be your experimental variable, like increasing the link velocity. And then what you're doing is you're looking at the output and seeing, did that cause an increase in ranking or traffic? I'm actually going to be showing you one single variable test that I did regarding link velocity, where basically I decided in this niche that we've been in plenty of times, I'm going to try a new strategy where I'm increasing the link velocity 1.5x, and what's going to happen on the output. Am I actually ranking 1.5x faster or higher? And we'll see that result quite soon. The second reason is I just built a crap ton of backlinks. I like to make this ongoing slide. It's fun for me. Basically, this is a total of all the links that I've built to my affiliate sites via LeadSpring, my client sites for our customers at the Search Initiative, and Authority Builders. We've built nearly 102,000 links through our outreach service. And then Diggity Links, when I used to run a PBN service, built nearly 55,000 links. I can't do math off the top of my head, but this looks like a lot, 250,000, something like that. And the reason this matters is, I'm not here to show off and say, look how many links I've built, but the reason this matters is because the whole time when I've run link services, I've had this process where anytime a new customer signs up, I'm going to track their progress so I can get back to them and show them the things that they're doing good. Or if they're not doing that great, then maybe I can learn something, and maybe I can offer some feedback on what could have caused that issue, right? So this is how the process looks. Basically, when a link is placed, you find the target keywords that that particular page would want to rank for. So you just look at the landing page. You can see, if you've been doing this for a while, you can easily see what keywords a page wants to rank for. You toss them into a rank tracker, and then you monitor that over time. And then eventually you're going to see a bunch of graphs like this, ranking increases, etc. And this allows you to learn so much about link building, what worked for this client, what didn't work, what kind of anchor text was used, and most importantly, what kind of link velocity was used. And that's going to be our focus today. We're going to be talking 100% about link velocity. So for the newbies on here that are just asking, what the heck is link velocity? What are we talking about here? Let's get into that. The definition of link velocity that I'll be using is the rate at which you get backlinks. And this is typically denoted in per month increments. So we're talking about 50 links per month, 5 links per month. That's the rate at which you get backlinks, whether or not they be built by yourself or acquired by yourself. That would be your link velocity. It's independent of what you're doing. It's just the amount of links that you're getting per month. And easy way to do this graphically is you can toss your domain into Site Explorer on Ahrefs and just see right there in the dashboard, you can see a graph showing the amount of referring domains over the last 30 days. And for this particular example, it's about 120 per month. So that would be their link velocity. Now, just a bit of housekeeping and clarifications, get some definitions, make sure we're all on the same page. Are we talking about built links here or acquired links? So the difference between built links is I actually went out and did outreach or bought a link or something. This would be the links that I proactively built myself. Acquired links would be links that just came in naturally without my effort at all. And so for a new sites typically, these sites don't have any traffic, they don't have any traction, they're probably not getting much love from Google at all. So 99% of the links you're building here are going to be built. And for a well-established site, so sites that are ranked high, get tons of traffic, so you might have a 50-50 ratio where you're building some links and you're acquiring a lot of links naturally as well. So for the purpose of this webinar, we're just going to be talking about built links. We're just going to be assuming that you're taking care of your own link velocity, you're doing your own outreach, so we're going to be talking about built links here. And then are we talking about individual links or are we talking about referring domains? Because there's a difference here. You might be doing outreach to a website and you might get multiple links for them. So in this example, we're just talking about single referring domains. If you get a link from a domain, that just counts as one. And an example of this is if you look at Diggity Marketing, you can see that I have 2.12 thousand, why do I say that so weird? 2,120 referring domains, but there's nearly 10,000 backlinks, right? That's because some people are linking to me more than once. We're just talking about referring domains here. So let's get into why link velocity is so important. You have 3 pitfalls that you can run into with link velocity. One is that you start linking way too quick and bad things happen. We'll get into that. One is you link too slow. And then the other, which is something you might not have thought about, you might just not be linking efficiently. You might not have the right link velocity to get 100% efficiency from the links that you're getting. And I'll illustrate that as well. So when you build links too fast, Google said many, many times that they want links to be created naturally. Namely, what they really want is that you don't build any links yourself. You just write amazing content and that people link to it naturally out of their own volition, which happens pretty much never in the real world. But Google's documentation on link scheme says exactly this. Unnatural links can be considered a violation of our guidelines. So the name of the game is to look natural. Here's a question for you guys. Would it make sense for a brand new website to get 1,000 links in its first month? I mean, go ahead and type in the chat box. Does that make sense to you? Does it seem possible? My answer is that anything's possible. Anything's possible in the internet. Someone could start a brand new site. They could be an owner of another site and they could shift all their visitors over to the new one, say, hey, we're starting a sister site, come check this out, link to it, whatever. It's possible, but it's not likely. And likelihood and probability is what Google used to determine naturalness, right? Here's another question. How about an older site with 100 visitors per month? Can it get 1,000 links in a month? I don't know. Let's take a look at that. There's a concept called the golden ratio, right? So backlinks are the foundation of ranking. Google is this is just the way it is. Google is Google because they put faith into this algorithm called PageRank a long time ago, which uses backlinks to determine whether a website is good or not. It's considered a positive vote from one website to another saying this is good content, right? So Google's married to this concept of backlinks being able to provide ranking value. But backlinks are super rare in the real world. Think about like any non-SEO type person that has a website. Maybe someone owns a coffee shop down your street. How often does this person link to other websites? He probably doesn't even know his WordPress password. It's just not on his radar. It's just not something that's important to most people except SEOs. So backlinks are super rare in the real world. And some people use social signals. Some people, like myself, use social signals to justify the occurrence of links, because if something is getting backlinks, it better well be talked about on Facebook, Twitter, etc. It's just much more of an easy thing that happens. But what must be more common than social signals? And that's traffic. And the concept behind this is very, very simple. Everyone who shares a link to a site or links to a site from a website has to have at least gone to that website once. No one's going to link to something that they didn't even check out what the page was. So there's always more traffic, and significantly more traffic than the backlinks and social signals. This is an indicator of naturalness. So the impact of building links too fast, what can happen? One is you can have a new website that you're just trying to build some trust with, and you never get out of the sandbox. You build more links, you add more content, 9 months go by, 16 months go by, like what the hell is going on? That you could get yourself stuck in the sandbox forever. Second is you can get stuck in the ranking. So you might be out of the sandbox, you might be 3 years going along in the site, and you just decide, I'm going to go nuts. I'm going to order a Fiverr gig and get 1,000 links this month. And you find yourself, no matter what, Google just hates me now because you got yourself stuck in the rankings. You've proved that there's a natural stuff going on. You need to disprove that before they'll let you out of their handcuffs. And then lastly, you can just get straight up penalized. I run a link detox and penalty recovery service, Authority Builders with Rick Lomas. You can find that in the nav bar, and you can under the other services. And we're constantly seeing websites all the time that are getting penalized for just overcooking their link velocity. So here's 3 impacts of building links too fast. Here's an example of one of my blunders in 2017 when we weren't as refined as SEOs. But we decided to start a site in the beard oil niche, and we decided to start this one fast and just see what happens. And built over 100 links in the first 2 months. And you can see we definitely shot up in rankings, got about 1,000 visitors per month pretty quickly, but nothing ever took hold after that. In fact, we just declined traffic over and over again. Mid 2018, we ended up selling the site to someone else. And then actually, I don't know what they did, but it got manually penalized, and sometimes in 2019, it looks like they recovered at some point. But you can see that this site was just a mess from the beginning because we just went too crazy. Let's talk about when you build links too slow. What can happen here? How do you get to, here's a question, how do you get from number 5 to number 1 in Google? Well, the answer is quite simple. You just need to do better than sites 1 to 4 so you can move above them in both content and backlinks. So you need to overcome them in both content and backlinks. And backlinks is super important to show that you're authoritative, you have trust, etc. So here's this isn't my sites, but here's an example of a couple sites in the pet niche. We have dogloverspup.com, great name, and it has 91 referring domains. And let's say it's right behind Heel Boy Heel with 158 domains. So what Dog Lovers Pup needs to do is understand that there's a gap that they need to overcome. They need to build about 60 links to overcome these guys, but they not only need to do that, but they need to do it at a rate faster than Heel Boy Heel is, because Heel Boy Heel isn't done. They're building links at the same time too. You need to be able to overcome them, not only the quantity, but their velocity as well. And then we have what happens when you're not efficient. Remember I told you about an experiment that I ran, a test that I was running? So we launched 2 websites in a familiar niche. What I mean by familiar is that we found a profitable niche. This is back in mid 2018 or something like that. We found a profitable niche, and we'd already blanketed page 1 with 3 websites in the niche. So we were ranked number 1, 2, and 3. We wanted to blanket the top 5, so we wanted to hit number 4 and 5. So we launched 2 more websites, and we decided on one of them. We know the game plan, we know the menu, we know the exact process on how to get these sites ranked, the exact content rollout. We took good notes. We're going to roll it out on both of them, but one of the websites is going to get 1.5x the link velocity that the other one is getting. Will we rank 1.5x faster? So exactly, one website gets greater link velocity. Here's the results. So website number 1 was the baseline. BTBB is just the code we use to acronym our sites. And it's the baseline, so you see link velocity, you don't put anything there. Website number 2, the link velocity we were able to obtain was about 1.42x higher. Just, it was hard to get it exactly on the head just because we're doing outreach and not everything's perfect. But the ranking performance was not 1.5x higher. It was actually marginally higher. So what can we conclude out of this? Link building follows the law of diminishing returns. There's an efficiency point where if you go beyond that, it's not like if I build 2 times as many links, I'm going to get twice as fast as a result. There's an efficiency that you need to look at. You want to find that sweet spot in order to make sure to maximize your ROI on your time and your money that you're putting into link building. So let's get into this. How do we determine the ideal link velocity? We have 3 stages of a website, three typical stages, how I like to define them. In stage one, you're in the sandbox, and you're a brand new website. Google just doesn't trust you now. They're not sure if you're a spammy site. They're not sure if you're just another rinky-dink site. Millions of websites starting every day. So what they do is they put you in the sandbox, and one of the characteristics is that most of your keywords are going to be outside page 5, and that when you send links to a sandbox site, it doesn't move their rankings. It doesn't mean that these links will never do anything. It just means that the links don't have an immediate effect that you can see. Eventually they will. In stage 2, we're in the trustworthy phase. And what happens here is all of a sudden your keywords are going to jump up to pages 1 through 4, and you're going to get a huge traffic jump. And then you're also going to start noticing that your links start to make a difference. So you send a backlink and you're going to see a difference in result maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks later. This is something you can count on when you're doing link building. In stage 3, when you're in authority mode, so this is when Google just loves your site, you're an authority for the topic that you're writing about. One characteristic is your content starts to instantly rank once it's published. If you're writing a new piece of content within your niche, Google just puts you on page 1, 2, or 3 right away, just right off the bat. And links still move the needle, but you have so much going on your website right now, you might not be able to see that I just sent this exact link. Am I seeing the exact result a few days later? No, it's not going to look like that. There's just a lot of noise going on, but the links are working, and you can be sure of that. So let's take a look at this diagram here. We have stage 1 sandbox, stage 2 trustworthy stage 3 authority mode. Here's a little snapshot of the links that I like to build in each section. And we'll get into all these, and we'll get into the velocities for these, starting with the sandbox right now. Now, in the sandbox, your primary goal is to build trust. What you want to do is you want to say, Google, I know I'm a new site. I know we have no relationship, but I want to show you I'm the right guy for you. I'm the right girl for you. Let me show you how much trust I can build for myself. Now, we're going to start with social profile links. So you're going to go out and build a Facebook page, a Twitter, YouTube channel, all that kind of stuff. These are the natural first links that most businesses would go out and get. So if I just started a new plumbing company, like I want to put that site on Facebook. I want to put that site on YouTube maybe. If I want to get a YouTube channel going, I'm definitely going on LinkedIn, right? So you can build all these in one day. The link velocity recommendation here is you can just build them all in one day. There's nothing gray hat. There's nothing fishy. There's nothing bad about having someone go out and build a bunch of social links in a single day. And these will all connect to your main website through their about, the settings, whatever each of these platforms use. The next kind of links you'll be using are business citations. So this is normal directories where you'd put in your business's name, address, and phone number. And there's typically 2 types of directories here. One is your local directory, where you're saying, I'm a local business in this area. Even for affiliate websites, I like to establish an address that they live in, just to give it a little bit more realness to it. And I'll go to these local directories and I'll put in the name, address, phone number, and a link to my website. Industry-related directories, so again, like for plumbers, there's tons of plumbing directories that exist, so you'd want to make sure that you're in there as well. And these, again, are very natural first links. So it's just very natural for normal businesses to get these. And the velocity that I recommend here, I recommend getting about 30 to 40 of these guys. And again, all in one day is fine. It's completely feasible for a business to say, hey, new intern, your task for today is to put our name, address, phone number in these 40 places. Go, do it, done. Okay? It's a completely natural thing that can happen. Then after that, it's time to build trust. So this is where we're trying to get some link juice to our site, to get some links on websites that have trust with Google, so they can link to us, and then they can, by association, then we absorb some of that trust through their links, right? So why do we do guest posts here? Because they're links on brand new pages. When a guest post is created, you offer to write a piece of content for someone, and in that piece of content, it's an understanding that you're going to put a link to your site. If you look at the natural course of the internet, most links are placed on brand new pages rather than editing existing pages and adding links to them. If you look at diggitymarketing.com, you'll see my last links in the last 60 days, probably 99% of them are placed on brand new pages. I did a podcast. Someone linked to it from the podcast. Someone mentioned one of my articles in a news roundup, or someone found my article on Rank and Rent and decided to reference it in a new post that they're doing. Like, that's how the normal internet works. And because we're building trust right now, focus on links from new pages. Other types of new page links are fine. So if you want to do something else, like I just mentioned, like do a podcast or whatever other kind of new links can happen, those are great, but just focus on new links rather than getting links on existing content. Now you have two approaches on your link velocity here. Here's a simple sandbox link plan. So this is a simple plan. Anyone can do this pretty easily. Is you're going to want to do 1 to 3 guest post links or any other new page links per week. So you're going to start kicking up your outreach, and you just start to drip these out 1 to 3 per week. Hit a wide variety of target URLs. Hit your home page with some of them, hit your money pages with some of them, hit your supporting content with some of the other ones. And continue doing this eventually until you're out of the sandbox. If you're getting links from good websites that have traffic in Google, that you know Google trusts, that aren't link farms, that are all legit, if you go with authority builders, this is what we do at ABC Plus, you're going to get out of the sandbox. Here's a more advanced plan. This is one I call burst linking. The main concept behind this, I'm just going to explain it at a high level, is we're going to be sending bursts of links. So we'll kick up the amount of links that we send to a site after we do a social signal blast. So we'd hit it with a bunch of social signals, Facebook shares, Twitter tweets, and stuff like that. That gives a signal to Google that this site is getting some traction, some people are talking about it, and then we blast it with some links after that, let it cool down, and then do it again. So I don't want to get into this at a high level, but if you want to download how this process works, go to diggitymarketing.com/backlink-blueprint-timeline. Then all of a sudden, if you keep it up, you did all the right things, you're going to jump out of the sandbox. This is what it looks like. You're going to look at your rank tracker. You're going to see a bunch of green on a single day. And you're going to look at your traffic graph, and you're going to see a huge jump in daily traffic. It's a great feeling. Now, we're going to focus on these other two guys, the trustworthy stage and authority mode. They pretty much follow the same rules when it comes to link velocity here. Let's get into that. Now, as you probably guessed, the max velocity for a normal site that has a decent amount of trust is determined by traffic. You want to be able to justify how these links are coming in by the amount of people that are visiting the site, right? Always have enough traffic to justify your links. Remember, links are super rare in the real world. Everyone who links to a website needs to visit it at least once. You would never link to anything that you've never been to. So the traffic needs to happen at least once, right? Now, the question you want to ask yourself is, do you have enough visitors to justify the amount of links that are getting built? So some examples of this in the wild, if we look at the spruce, right? The spruce is home improvement, how to decorate your home, a whole bunch of stuff around the home. It's also an affiliate site, very successful one. So in the last 30 days, they've built 1,502 referring domains to the site. Whether these are built or acquired, doesn't matter. This is just their link velocity, right? The organic traffic they have is 11 million in a month. Okay, we'll note that down for later. And we have a new site, Dog Review Guides. They built 15 referring domains in the last 30 days, and their traffic is about 10K per month, right? So we take this and put it in a table. We can see the spruce, 11 million traffic, 1,500 links. The amount of traffic they have for every link that they get is about 7,000. Dog Guide Reviews is about 700 visitors for every link that they build. So what do I think about these numbers? First, Dog Guide Reviews need to pick up the pace. If they're trying to grow and overtake like other sites in the pet niche, they need to backlink more for sure. Pet niche is complicated. It's not quite easy to rank. So 15 links per month, you're never going to get there. But both these guys are doing fine as they're under their max limits. They're both doing great. They're both. It's completely feasible, even at the Dog Guide Review level, to just build. To have every 700 visitors, one of them decides to link. Like, that makes sense, right? So the question you're asking is, Matt, what is the max? What is the max that you're talking about? Let's get to that right now. So this is a table that I put together. It's not based on studying anything. It's based on gut feel and my experience running hundreds of websites over the course of the years, running a client agency, and sticking to these maximums will keep you safe. So if you have less than 1,000 visitors per month, stick to 15. Don't go more than 15. Remember, we're building trust right here. Just keep it low at this point right here. And this gives you fairly aggressive 66 links per visitor, or sorry, said that backwards, 66 visitors per link. And that might seem a little bit aggressive, but when you're at this very like newbie stage here, the laws of statistics don't really come into play. Google's not really, you're not even really on their radar at that point. Like, as you guys have seen, like there's plenty of examples of new websites that have the steepest traffic curves you've ever seen. You're just not on their radar yet. So even though this might seem like a lot, like it's really not that much. And then we scale up here. So 5,000 traffic per month. You can max out at 50 links per month. And these are maximums. I'm not talking about minimums yet. We'll get to that. And then eventually getting down to more than 100,000 visitors in a month. It really just doesn't matter anymore. You have enough traffic that you're probably not able to build enough links where you would hit any kind of threshold where you would annoy Google or get on their radar. So the summary so far, let's just discuss what we've talked about. We talked about a recommended link velocity for new sites. We talked about maximum link velocity for established sites. Now I want to get into how to use your competition to determine the optimal link velocity. So the number one thing you need to know is you need to catch your competition, of course, right? There's no point to this whole thing if I'm building links and everyone's doing better than me, like you'll just never overcome them. So here's an example, right? We have the blue line. This guy's building 3 links per month. This guy's in first place right now, 3 links per month. We have the number 2 guy. He's building 5 links per month. And then you decide, I'm going to build 5 links per month. Well, number 2 guy is eventually going to overtake the number 1 guy because his link velocity is more. And you'll overtake that guy too, but you will never overtake the number 2 guy just because you're just matching him, right? But if you were to switch this up and switch to 10 links per month, you can overcome the number 2 guy pretty quickly. You can overcome the number 1 guy pretty quickly when it comes to backlinks. I'm not talking about what you're doing with on-site. I'm just talking about your link equity and your page rank. So here's 2 different ways on how to determine your competitor link velocity. Here's the easy one, right? So right here, I'm reverse engineering a particular domain, toproutertables.com. I'm looking at this on domain level. You can look at it at page level or domain level. If I want to look at a domain level, let's consider that I have another website in the niche and I just want to overcome this entire domain by itself, not targeting a particular page. So we go to Site Explorer. We're going to type in the URL that we want to reverse engineer and see the link velocity. I'm going to go to backlinks here and then click on new. 1 link per domain. We're going to look only at the do follows and we're going to only look at the blogs. And it's going to cut out a lot of the crap that like Ahrefs will pick up, a lot of the links that don't really matter. And then we have to do a little bit of auditing. So down there, there's like a scraper site that's scraping some of the images. This link was lost anyway. So we do need to do a little bit of manual editing. And we can finally see here that if it says 4 new do follow links here, we remove the one that doesn't count. So that ends up being 3 links. So it's got a link velocity of 3 per month, right? Here's another example, Woodworkers Lab. So we can see we got to get rid of this guy. It's another scraper site. It's scraping an image here and linking to the image. And then from here, we can see if it says 8 here, then we remove that one. We're looking at 7 do follow backlinks per month. Now, the problems with this approach is, number 1, this requires manual vetting. So it's not fun when someone's building hundreds or thousands of links per month. And it only looks at the previous month. What if this person had a great last month or a terrible last month? So you wouldn't really know like what they're doing. It's better to look at an average. So that's where we get into this more advanced way where we're looking at top 1, 2, and 3 competitors. We're looking at how their month-to-month link velocity looks, and then we're going to look at averages to see, in general, over the last 3 months, what has their link velocity been. The process a little bit more automated, but it's just a little bit more complicated too. So what we're going to do here is, in this example, I'm just looking at like if I wanted to overcome a particular page on a website. So I typed in Inside Explorer, Yoast.com keyword cannibalization. I want to rank higher than them for my Diggity Marketing keyword cannibalization article. So I'll look at their referring domains, and then I'm just going to do an export here. The rest of this happens in Excel. So once I dump this out, I've highlighted the columns that matter here. We're going to filter by DR greater than 20. Any domain rating less than 20, I just consider that a website doesn't really matter. So we'll filter DR greater than 20. Do follow 0 or higher than 0. That just means they have 1 do follow link, 2 do follow links, just more than 0 do follow links. And then we'll filter this based on a partition of month to month. So I'll look at the last month. So I'll put in the 1st and the 31st of last month. Then I'll go to the month before that, and then I'll go to the month before that, and I'll just count how many total referring domains are placed in each month. So eventually you fill out this table here and you come up with some averages. Now, the important numbers you want to look at is first the average. So I know I need to build 6.41 links per month in order to keep up with the websites that are ranking for this keyword. But if I want to overtake the guy in first place, I should build more than 7, so maybe 8. If I want to overtake him even sooner, I want to kick that up to 9, 10, 12, etc. So, okay, great. Here's a chance where we're going to offer some free assistance to anyone who has any questions about this link velocity, especially this advanced analysis here. So what we're offering is basically a chance to jump on with one of our guys, and we'll do this link velocity analysis with you. We'll also do a complete backlink gap analysis, which I'll just explain it right now. So just make sure if this is something that you're interested in, like go ahead and close the browser and go ahead and sign up for this, because this fills up every single time. This is something like we like to do for people to help people out, but we have a finite amount of time, and this seems to be pretty popular. So make sure to jump on that. Let me describe what we're going to do for you. So as I talked about, we're going to look at the link velocity. We're also going to look at the link gap. So what's a link gap? Let's say you wanted to rank for best curling iron. So you would have the guy in first place rank in style.com. You know, the second person, Good Housekeeping. The third one, Birdie, right? So kind of like what we do for the link velocity, what we're going to do is we're going to make another table like this, and we see that site number 1 has 4 links in the DR 20 to 30 bucket. So 4 links at this authority level, 5 links at the 31 to 40 level, 3 links at this level, etc. And we're going to do that for sites 2 and sites number 3. And then we're finally going to take an average, and we'll see that in this niche, this is how many links these guys have, right? So this is what's going on at the top competitors for these exact URLs, right? And then we'll look at yourself. We'll see what's the situation going on with you. You have 2 links in this bucket. You have 1 link in this bucket. Then we're going to calculate the difference. So this is the link gap. This is the amount of links that you need to build to be competitive in this niche. Now, there's some caveats to this. There's some pitfalls that you can run into. You have to consider the domain rating, because domain rating, if you're comparing yourself up against like websites that have a high DR, so these kind of websites might, if they have 5 links going to these URLs, their 5 links are worth way more because they have way more authority to their website. So you need to take that into consideration. And what you need to do is you need to multiply your link gap by a scaling factor. Now, the scaling factor is a little bit complicated because it's an exponential equation, DR is. But we have that all worked out for you. So if you sign up for the free link gap and free link velocity consultation, then we'll calculate all that for you. We have all the equations worked out. Another thing you want to consider is don't count no follow links. No follow links aren't going to count towards link gap. Another thing I didn't mention is that you just want to make sure that if you do an analysis and you find, okay, I need to build 40 links to this URL to rank because I'm up against these sites with huge domain authority, and that's how I need to overcome them. Well, if everyone else on page 1 is ranking with only 2 or 3 links, you don't want to be the one building 40 links, because that gets you, quote unquote, you'll become the black sheep. You'll be the weird one on page 1 that's trying to overcook their links. So make sure to watch out for that. And then, as mentioned before, we'll help you determine your link velocity using the advanced method that I talked about before. Now, to sign up, if you need help with this kind of thing, book a free backlink gap analysis at authority.builders/backlink-strategy. And we're going to help you analyze your competition, determine a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to create a link strategy one-on-one with our SEOs, and we're going to explain it to you on the call, and it's 100% free. And only for the first 50 people is the link velocity analysis. It's kind of time intensive. It takes a while, so we can only offer that for the first 50 people. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and close the browser temporarily, minimize, and then just sign up real quick. To sign up, it's super easy. Step 1, we have a form like this: first name, last name, email address. We need to know the URL you want to rank, because how will we know what to reverse engineer? And the target keyword you want to rank for. That's important as well. and then just book a time to chat with us. Like I mentioned, some of this stuff can be complicated. We want to just get on the phone with you for half an hour to let you know exactly how we're doing. There's always questions involved with this, and we can explain to you the whole process on how we're doing this thing. And what to expect on the call. So you're going to have an expert look at your site. So my SEO team and Authority Builders, these guys are all running their own affiliate portfolios. Some of them are clients. Like, these guys are good. And you're going to have an expert looking at your site. We'll build you a plan based on what's already working in your niche. So we're going to reverse engineer competitors, see what they're doing right, and we're going to copy that and improve your site in order to lay out a plan. And should you need help executing that plan, we have a special promotion going on till the end of the month for ABC Plus. So ABC Plus is our managed link building campaign service, where we're going to do this reverse engineering. We're going to figure out what kind of links you need to build in what buckets. We're going to figure out your link velocity. We're also going to figure out the exact anchor text you need to build in order to be building, in order to compete in the niche. And we execute on that. So we roll out these links month to month to get you from A to B. The special till the end of the month is there's no setup fees. There's typically a $200 setup fee, so that's completely waived to the end of the month through this link, Authority Builders Backlink Strategy. So just to talk a little bit about ABC Plus, ABC Plus leverages what we call the vault. So these are our best performing links. Remember, we talked about how we track our customers. We see which domains are giving good results. So these are our best performing links, both for testing and our customer results. And ABC Plus gets priority on these. Here's some results from ABC Plus. So this is a new affiliate website, less than a year old. It's gone from nowhere to number 9 for its main keyword. This is a traffic growth. So they started with ABC Plus in September. You can see that they've doubled their traffic. Here's just an example of foreign SEO. I mean, not quite foreign, it's Australian. So this works in all niches, all geos. So this guy got from number 3 to number 1. You can see since starting ABC Plus, they doubled the traffic growth as well. And this also works for high competition niches. So this is an affiliate niche keyword, 14,800 searches per month. And so here's a couple words from our customer. So Mark Valderrama, if you're on this webinar right now, thank you very much. He's just showing off some traffic and ranking graphs and stuff like that. And Andrew Fiore, thank you so much for the kind words. ABC Plus always gets the job done. So again, if you want to book this free backlink gap consultation, authority.builders backlink strategy, and remember, the advanced link velocity analysis only available for the first 50 people. I wish we could open it for everybody. It's just too time intensive. So go over there and get it done and sign up for us for that free consultation. If you want to sign up for ABC Plus, it's in the same place. Just go ahead. And you can see that it's already waived. The $200 setup fee is already waived. Let me take a quick swig of water and we'll move on. All right, so as promised, here's 3 examples of link velocity at LeadSpring. So I just want to show you that I practice what I preach. These are the mins and maxes and the strategies that I use in my actual portfolio. So here's a starter site. So Project Cashflow is, if you've been following along, I started an affiliate website. Well, actually, I purchased an affiliate website about 3 months ago, and we've been documenting it in a case study. It's called Project Cashflow. So we've just got a hold of it. And the traffic it has right now is about 6,000 visitors per month. We're building about 30 links per month, which gives us a traffic about 200 visitors per link. So within those max ranges, it's completely feasible that every 1 in 200 people links to a website that they visit. Here's an authority site in the health niche. So this site is getting 112,000 visitors per month. This is in the range where it just doesn't matter, but we're building 99 links per month. So the amount of traffic per link, 1,136. So very, very much under those max that I said before. But this site is also starting to pick up some of its own natural links. So we'll probably pull off the manual link building that we're doing pretty soon. And then we have Diggity Marketing. So this is a real website that just gets most of its links completely organically with no effort at all. So let's see what happens in the real world. So Diggity Marketing gets 47,000 visitors per month. The number of links that was created in a month is 88. So that gives us 539 visitors per link. Again, This is a real world example and just showing that this is what happens naturally. This is exactly what happens naturally. 1 in every 539 visitors is linking to Diggity Marketing. All right, guys. So we're at the end of the webinar, and as promised, we're open for the Q&A section. Just want to repeat, if you want to jump on that free backlink strategy, which includes link velocity analysis, the advanced way, go to authority.builders backlink strategy, and we're going to do the link gap analysis and all that good stuff. You can also join ABC Plus with 0 setup fees, and a reminder that this deal ends January 31st, 2021. But also the link velocity fills up after the first 50 people. So jump on it if you're interested. And if you're ready, Daryl, I'm ready. Just let me get another drink of water, and I'm open for Q&A.
Yep, I'm ready.
Cool.
Liam's asked, what is your take on exact match anchor text? How should you use them?
Good question. So for exact match anchor text, so I'm assuming you don't have exact match domain because it shifts things up. But let's say you have a branded domain and you're sending exact match anchor text. I think it's fine. I always use exact match anchor text for high volume and high importance keywords at least once. There's no better link signal than sending exact match anchor text to a URL, but I'm just going to send it exactly once. Sometimes, very rarely, I might send it twice if there's already 100 links going to that particular URL or something like that, because the odds that 2 people linked with the exact anchor text out of 100 links, that's possible, right? Especially if it's descriptive of what the article is about. But in general, most of the time, it's just 1 exact match anchor per URL.
Okay, cool. And in authority mode, do you build more links to homepage or more to inner pages?
So almost all the time, depends or doesn't matter what mode I'm in, I'm always spreading the link love everywhere. I'm always building the link to the homepage, links to the homepage. I'm always building links to supporting content. And I'm not shy to focus on building links to money content at all. In fact, I just put out a post on which pages should you build links to. There's a YouTube video as well that shows arguments for going direct to the money page. And it doesn't matter on the stage. I'm always spreading it around. Name of the game with link building is naturalness.
Cool. And does removing links help in case of building too many links to a fresh site? So would you remove the links if you have a fresh site but you feel you've overdone it?
To be honest, if it's been a long time since I've overcooked backlinks to a site, but when we did it back in the day, like in 2017, when I gave that example in the beer roll niche, like we're using PBNs there. We have control over everything. You only had to build like a 5-page website in order to get something to work. Like I would just throw it away at that point. I've never experimented around with removing links, and I don't think that would help the situation, right? So think about like the picture that's created. 100 links were built to a website, then the 100 links or maybe 50 links went away. That's also not a natural thing that occurs. So it might just further cement in Google's mind that, yeah, there's definitely some weird stuff going on, because not only the links were built too fast, but why would half of them get removed?
Cool. And how critical are the initial social network links, etc.? Do you see them as an important foundation?
I look at it as a trust signal. So it's not necessarily, it's hard to say. We're just guessing here. We have no idea what the algorithm does, but in terms of links, I want the links that are first to come to a website to be websites that Google would not even flinch at. And getting a link from Facebook and all that, like, yeah, I mean, that's probably a very, very common first link that a new website has. So I do it every single time. There's no way I'm skipping it. And even for like websites that I acquire or clients that come on, I'm definitely going to build all these profiles if they don't exist already. And it's not too late to ever build them.
Cool. Galad's asking, what is your approach to choose which page or article to target for link building at any given month?
Like I mentioned before, I like to spread it around, but I do put a high focus on money pages. And like I mentioned, I just made a post and YouTube video about what pages to build link to. But the punchline is that basically if you don't link to your money pages, you're losing a lot of the efficiency. A direct link has much more value than a link that's going through a supporting page. So I'm always focusing on the money pages, and then after that I'm spreading it around. If I had to give a ratio, I really couldn't, because I'm spreading it around so often. Maybe 1 month I might go 60% of the links to my commercial content. The next month it might be 20%. So I'm always just trying to create a scenario that just looks like it's random, it's haphazard, and it's mimicking the natural world.
Cool. And Maxime's asking, is it fine to build links for only 4 to 5 articles simultaneously? This is on a 150 article website.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, let's just kind of imagine like what could be going on with that. Like a website, it's a real website, it exists. Maybe they sell sprockets for some kind of machine, and they're doing a promotional campaign about some new product that they launched, and there's only 5 pieces of content that are surrounding this piece of sprocket or whatever it is. It's a completely natural thing that could come up, for sure. Just make sure you're always mixing in homepage links. Those are the ones I would definitely not ignore.
Cool. And how effective are backlinks coming from foreign media sites for a travel niche?
To be honest, I try not to comment on anything that I don't have any experience with or I haven't tested, so I really don't know.
And what is your view on optimum anchor ratios? Something we covered before.
Yeah, we've definitely had a webinar on this already. Look up on YouTube channel, so anchor text webinar, Matt Diggity.
Cool. Any recommendations on the percentage split niche edits versus guest posts you should build?
So let's make sure when we're talking about niche edits, we're talking about the non-hacked version. So niche edits is also a euphemism for buying links on hacked websites. So just to be safe, let's call it link insertions, where you're doing outreach and you're getting links in existing articles. So I wouldn't increase that more than 30%, 30 to 40% of your overall gained links per month. Just because, as you've heard before, it's a rarer thing in the real world, and I think 40% is pushing it, but that's typically what I hit.
Great. And Sunny's asking a good question. In my niche, I see a lot of high DR sites ranking on page 1 without much links. So authority sites ranking there. If I send too many links to compete against them, can I rank? Will I face the black sheep effect?
You're exactly describing the black sheep effect. So instead of doing that, you would look and see who has the most amount of links on page 1. So maybe it's 8, and you're going to hit 8. And then after that, just start sending links to the supporting content that links to your target page that you want to rank.
And so do you advise doing skyscraper link building campaigns for money posts?
Okay, so I'm reading that as I have a money piece of content. I'm trying to rank for best ping pong table, and then I'm outreaching to websites and like using the skyscraper method, saying I want you to link to this article. I definitely don't recommend skyscraper campaigns to any page you want to rank, just because the whole concept behind it is you get a big list of sites and you do a whole bunch of automation, and then you spam all of them and you hope that some of them link for free. When this happens, and when you do actually get links for free, there's going to be a big mix of sites that you don't really want the links from, so they're not going to be the highest quality, and they're kind of at their own freedom to link to you with any anchor text that they want. So that could overcook your anchor text and get you in a whole nother situation. So link, if you want to do skyscraper, I'm not a big fan of it. Just don't find it that efficient. You would just make a page just dedicated to skyscraper.
Cool. And Gabriel's asking if you're linking in deeper tiers to build up tier 1s, i.e., so I guess he's asking, what is the approach that you follow if you're looking to do sort of tier 2 link building or beyond that?
I mean, the general course of action is you find a high authority website that's linking directly to you. And ideally, this web page that's linking to you has a low amount of outbound links. So, the ideal situation, there's one link going to your website. And then you would hit that in the back with something with more link juice, which is typically a PBN, private blog network link.
Cool. And if one page gets negative SEO'd with thousands of links but still remains at the #1 position, would you still disavow?
Yeah, it's a weird question, but in my case, I would not disavow, because when you're at #1, there's only one direction you can go, and it's probably so weird story. But I've been negative SEO before, and I increased in rankings because probably their intention was to decrease my rankings, but maybe some of the links that they sent in there were actually seen as positive to Google. The rest of them were seen as ignorable, and they ignored a lot of them. So I'm not saying you're ranking because you got negative SEO as #1, but the only thing you can do at this point is mess things up.
Yep. And George said, if you have an authority site with the homepage keywords that are extremely competitive, competing with I guess stuff like Amazon, I guess he's sort of referring to, would you still build links for those keywords, or just focus on inner pages with long tail keywords? Sorry, would you bother trying to compete if you've got a really competitive keyword, I guess?
Really good question. So the way I like to look at things is I build my websites to go after any keyword possible. I'm probably not going to rank for the hardest ones today, but what I'm going to do is find their long tail variation. So instead of best protein powder, I'm going to try to see if I can rank for best protein powder for runners or something like that. And when you start to rank for the longer tail versions of that, you get a little bit of traffic for these keywords. And you want to, I use an analogy that's kind of like rock climbing. So these long tail keywords, these are your initial footholds on the journey of you climbing this rock wall, right? So once you get these footholds, then you can start to grasp up a little bit higher. And eventually, if you have enough traffic being the indicator of you being good enough to talk in this niche, eventually you will rank for the hardest keywords.
Cool. Just for Gab's question, what are your criteria when determining a link is of quality? We've got another video for that as well. If you go to Matt's YouTube channel, you can see the webinar for that one as well, to get the full answer on that. And
yeah, how to vet backlinks is the name of it.
Yeah, that's the one. And would an exact match domain mean I require less links to rank, as I can use my branded and URL anchor text as exact match, so I get more relevancy? How do you handle that?
So, okay, you will rank with less links, not because of any kind of anchor text situation, but just because Google has no doubt in their minds that the content of your website is topically related to the keyword. It's because of the on-site and the association with the domain. There's nothing else you could be about if you're an exact match domain. When you make life easy for Google to figure out what your website is about, they're going to reward you. Now, when you're sending exact match anchors to exact match domain, don't overcook this. You're in very sensitive territory. So again, you can send it like once or twice, but it doesn't count as a branded anchor text. You have to treat it as a target anchor text. You don't get a branded anchor text. You get URL anchor text, you get topical anchor text, you get miscellaneous, but you don't get branded.
Okay, cool. And then, unless there's anything else comes through, last one, I guess someone's asking about whether you would consider using syndication sites like Medium and Blogspot for links.
Any type of link that someone can just build for free with very little effort is for a long time, Google's been able to just put that in the low value or ignore bucket, right? It's like blog comments is another prime example of this. Like anyone can just create a blog comment in seconds. So that's why they don't work. Anyone can go upload a piece of content to Medium. They don't pass value.
I think that's it. Yeah, is the backlink strategy also possible for English sites, not like German? Unfortunately not. We can't do the analysis without having a native speaker in full. So yeah, we can't do that. But if you email to sales@authority.builders, and let us know if you we'll see what we can do to help, but we won't be able to do a full analysis for you. What happens when we disavow the toxic or bad links? They get removed. Do you agree with having brand / URL anchors as the highest ratio, i.e. 60%?
So check out this anchor text webinar that we did. I will just look at the competition and see what does the competition have with their anchor text situation to indicate what kind of links I'm going to be building and what their anchor text are. As using a just set cut in stone, we're going to go 25% brand, 25% URL. That's a one size fits all strategy, and that's not how Google works.
Maybe one or two more. So I've got lots of keywords that the pages that rank for them don't have much links, less than 10 links, and they all have less than 5 KD in Ahrefs and don't have good content either. But the thing is, they are posts on high authority niche sites. Should I go after these keywords?
To be honest, this is a very it depends question. I don't know what kind of website you're working with, but I mean, it just depends how niched you are already, how niche your website is. If they're a general website talking about something and they're talking about your niche topic and you're a website that's only about that niche, you can definitely overtake them. I also don't know your budget and your timelines and a lot of things. It's really hard to answer that question, my friend. But I mean, when you get confident enough in SEO, no keyword will scare you. This is just more of a question of what your level is and what your budget is and stuff like that.
I've got two guys asking about basically tier 2 link building. Does backlink velocity matter past tier 1? And can you get how aggressive, can you get with tier 2 links without penalty issues?
I mean, so I never send more than about 5 links on tier 2 to a tier 1 property. So link velocity on a per URL basis isn't that big of a deal. Like you could send 5 links at once and it's not going to matter. Google's, even if you send all 5 of those links the same day, they're not going to crawl them all in the same day. So, and then by the time that link juice percolates up to you, it's going to be completely random and stuff like that. So never think too much about it. But and even on a whole tier level, like let's say you built 200 tier 2 PBN links, and then that gets up to it all just went at the same time to the same whole bunch of tier 1 links. I don't worry too much about it, but I've also never built 200 PBN links at the same time on tier 2. Normally stick to about 100 per month or something like that.
And last question here is, do you think that backlinks had anything to do with the latest Google Core update?
Yes, they definitely do. They always do. Take a look at some, I mean, I can't give you an example without giving away my niche, but I think a lot of people are seeing all the time just mega authority sites or press release sites, or even Medium is ranking for affiliate keywords. Medium is not an expert in Viagra, but they're ranking for Viagra keywords. It's just a complete mess right now. But the only thing that these websites have going for them is a ton of links. So Google's turned up the volume on links, and yeah, it's kind of messy right now, but this is what they want. Cool. Is that it? Are we at the end of the road?
Pretty much. And the last question 2 people have asked is, do you build no follow links? No,
those are going to come in normally, as you saw with the scraper sites that like when we're auditing the Ahrefs report manually. A lot of these sites are going to build no follow links automatically. They're going to come all the time, especially when you have any kind of traction on your website. So that takes care of itself. Cool, guys. I want to say a big thank you for all you guys to showing up at the webinar, making sure I wasn't at this party by myself. I hope you guys learned a lot. I had a bunch of fun. If you want to jump on this free backlink strategy with the link velocity, go to authority.builders backlink strategy, and we'll get you hooked up. And if you want to jump on ABC Plus with 0 setup fees, that deal ends at the end of January. So jump on it, guys, and I will see you when I see you. Take care, guys. Peace.